Hey everybody, it's Lo and welcome back to my channel, Lo Without Limits. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to get better sleep. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. Having narcolepsy, I know a thing or two about sleeping, but even with wanting to sleep all the time and taking medication to keep me awake, which if you want to know more about my narcolepsy and my medication and just a bunch of different questions, I have 2 videos and I will leave both of those linked down below with more information. But even with all that, I still want to get a good restful night's sleep. And a lot of people don't know this, but when your brain is in REM sleep, you're in that sleep cycle, which is what it actually categorizes a lot of narcolepsy, that your body is really asleep, but your brain is awake. So that's when your brain is dreaming and doing all these things. So you may think that you're getting a super restful night's sleep. But for me personally, when I wake up and I'm like, wow, I had a lot of dreams last night, I know that I'll probably be tired for the rest of the day. But to get a better night's sleep and to really just improve my sleep, that way my days are easier, having narcolepsy or not, I have some tips. I have 5 tips and these are great in no particular order. So I will just jump straight into them. And the first one is to have a consistent sleep-wake schedule. This is something that one of my doctors actually told me after I got my narcolepsy diagnosis. He said to wake up at the same time or around the same time frame every single day. So of course with work, some days are earlier if I have to get somewhere that's further or an earlier shoot day. And on the weekends, I do like to sleep in a little bit, but for the most part, I'm waking up around 6:30, 7 a.m. every single day. On the weekends, I will probably get up around 7:30, but I personally have just grown to love waking up early, getting a bunch of things done, being super productive before noon, so you have the rest of the day to just kind of chill. And when I am working and I am driving somewhere, it is more like 6:30 in the morning, just so I can get up and ready and go. But now that I'm working from home and not actually working that much, it is looking more like 7 a.m. every single day. But even on the weekends, no matter what, even if I'm really on vacation or something, just trying to wake up around the same time every day is super important to get your body into that routine. And that also goes for going to sleep around the same time every day. Of course, we all are living lives, although a little bit less in quarantine, but we're all still living our lives. So some days we are going to bed a little bit later than anticipated, but trying to keep a consistent sleep-wake schedule is super important and really helpful just to get your body ready and in the same cycle. That way it knows what to expect. And piggybacking off of going to sleep around the same time, if you're lying in bed and can't really go to sleep and you're just trying, but you're just lying there are a few things that I like that aren't melatonin. Personally, for me, I've tried taking melatonin on some nights where I'm just kind of lying in bed, but that always gives me like really bad dreams. And I've heard a lot of people feel the same, that melatonin isn't necessarily the best, but there are a few other things that I really like to do. So one is for LA County, because of lockdown, because of everything going on, as an LA County resident, you can get Headspace for a year. So if you're watching this and you're an LA County resident and you don't know about that, I will leave that link down below, but you can basically get Headspace just for living in LA, which I'm absolutely loving, and I'm loving not having to pay for it. Not only is it great in terms of meditation, but there is a part in Headspace that I will show you called Sleep. It's the middle tab, and what I absolutely love about this is that there's sleep music. So I will set like the 60-minute sleep music, and it's just so nice and relaxing. And I'll just set my phone on the side of my bed. I know everybody's always like, get the phone out of your room, but like, the whole place is my room. So I'll just leave it next to my bed, have this music going, and I'm out. So that's super helpful. But if you do want to take something a little extra to help you out, there are a few things that I really like. So instead of melatonin, you can just go for chamomile. I just have these chamomile tea bags from Yogi. So if you want to find something with chamomile, it doesn't necessarily have to be this exact brand or this exact type, but something with chamomile just to really slow you down, get your body to just start to relax and calm your mind. I really like this. And I do use tea bags right now, but as I'm running low on them and as I start to get rid of all my tea bags, I do want to transition to loose leaf tea and having a little mesh tea strainer. I do have one now, but I eventually want to do that for all of my tea, just because it is more eco-friendly, and a lot of tea bags do release microplastics, especially once they're in hot water. Secondly is the Four Sigmatic. So they have a few different ones. This is the mushroom chai latte mix, and it has turkey tail and reishi. There's another one that's a hot cocoa mix, so it has some cacao and it also has reishi, and reishi is really good at just calming yourself, going into that parasympathetic state and just really calming your body and your mind to help you get to sleep easier. And then lastly, something else that I've tried and really like are the Zen nighttime calming formula from Cure Nutrition. So it also has some mushrooms in it, and it also has CBD, which helps really relax. So if you are into CBD, I really like a lot of the products from Cure Nutrition. So I don't take this every night. Again, it's if I'm feeling restless or if I had like a coffee later in the day. For me personally, I feel like I don't feel the effects of coffee as much as somebody else. But at the same time, if I did have one later in the day, although I don't mentally feel it, I'm not fully aware of it, it does kind of keep my body a little bit up. Or if I'm working out back when gyms were open, closer to bed, like right after work, then I work out and then I just come home, shower, and go to sleep. This really helps just kind of calm and relax my body. So it has a lot of really, really good ingredients, and it's something that I'm really into. The next tip is to try to cut out blue light, which I know is super hard and everybody always says to cut out the blue light, but in 2020 and like working from home, and for me, like my workspace is also my sleep space, it is really hard to just kind of disconnect and say like, okay, I'm not gonna watch anything after this point and only have like warming lights, which I used to have all warming lights in my apartment, and last year the light fixture in my kitchen broke. So when they brought a new one, they also brought a very fluorescent blue light. So I definitely try to keep that light off in the evening just because it is so blue in comparison to my warmer lamps or my ceiling fan. So definitely trying to cut out blue light from just overhead lights or fluorescent office lights. Like try not to stay in the office super late back when that's a thing. And then also of course just TVs and cell phones emitting that blue light onto your eyes. And one way to do this, if you can't just completely cut it off or take it out completely, is by using blue light blocking glasses. So I have these ones from Key Australia. They are clear, so they're not super strong. They have a little bit of a yellow tint to them, and I really like these. The reason I bought these ones over other brands that do have stronger ones, like Blue Blockers, or I believe Felix Gray is another brand that has them. The reason I bought these is because they're cute, and when I was working in an office, again, fluorescent lights, sitting at my laptop all day and like straining because maybe I'm like editing something as well. So I would throw these on because I don't know, they just kind of like seemed kind of cute, and they would also help me out a little bit. So these are also really good for the day, again, because they have that slight yellow tint. But if you really want to get into the blue light blocking, different companies like Blue Blocks do have ones that are like a stronger yellow lens, or even like an orange or red, to just really negate that blue light. But again, I really like these ones. They're from Key. I'll have them linked down below. I believe they were like $50, so not super expensive if you just want something that will help without breaking the bank, because a lot of them do get pretty pricey, especially if they're like not as cute. They also get pricey, so it's a lose-lose situation in that one. And if you have prescription eyeglasses, next time you go and get your new lenses, ask about getting this yellow blue light blocking tint added. It's something relatively new. I believe in the last year and a half is something. I have prescription glasses, but I actually haven't gotten the lenses changed in about 3 years because my eyes have stabilized. So I don't have that added to it, but my boyfriend Austin got a new pair of glasses almost a year ago, and when he got his have the added blue light blockers to it. So that way when he wears his contacts, if he wanted to get blue light blockers he could, but when he wears his eyeglasses he doesn't have to worry about the blue light because they already have that yellow tint to it. So if you do wear prescription eyeglasses, especially if you wear them a lot, that way you don't have to have two different glasses going on, ask about getting that added to your glasses. I'm not sure about the cost, and I'm not sure about like insurance covering it, but it's definitely something really good to look into if you do wear your glasses a lot, especially at night. Another thing kind of tied into the blue light is that if you are going to watch TV at night, try to make it something lighthearted. So there's a lot of news and everything going on right now, so I don't recommend, if you are going to be scrolling Instagram or watching something on TV, don't watch something super depressing or gory, because then you're going to bed, and even if you're not consciously aware of that, your body is still kind of in that fight or flight mode of like, what's going on? Is there something scary, something around the corner? And it kind of just like puts you to bed in a bad mood. So for Austin and I, every single Sunday night, we'll watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And while it's funny, it is still news and gets pretty depressing. So we always follow it up with a couple episodes of Impractical Jokers, because if we're gonna go to sleep, like that's the note that we want to go to sleep on. Tip number 4 is to sleep cold. I've always loved sleeping cold. I feel like I sleep so much better cold. And when Austin says it's too cold here at night, I just remind him that 66 degrees is the optimal sleeping temperature. And there are a lot of different studies that prove that sleeping in colder environments, in a colder place, does give you a better, more restful sleep, and I just love it. Of course, I set my AC unit to 66 degrees at night, but because it is an in-wall AC unit, it's not the strongest and most powerful, so it's always on, it's always loud. Now that I have my Dyson, it also gives a reading of the temperature and how the temperature changes, and I would say that my apartment actually averages around 72 degrees at night, which is a bummer because my AC unit is set to colder than that. But if you can sleep and you are able to sleep in a colder environment, I always have my Dyson going, my fan going, and my AC unit going, and I try to get it as cold as I can in here just because it is really, really good, especially because your bodies will heat up at night and it just kind of keeps you nice and cool and relaxed. And the last tip is to try not to eat close to bed. I would definitely give it like a 3-hour window at least between finishing your meal and going to sleep and getting ready for sleep. I know for me, when I was working, I would work late and then go to the gym for like an hour and a half, get back here, have a shake or maybe like a small meal, and then take a shower and go to bed. And I would always wake up just feeling like heavy and bloated and groggy. And it's also just not good for you and your digestion. So by eating close to bed, not only is it slowing and making your digestion off, but it's also making your sleep off, which is like the worst of both worlds. You want good digestion and good sleep. So definitely give yourself a few hours between eating and going to bed. And if you are gonna eat close to bed, try to move, maybe like a little walk, not necessarily outside, but just kind of like move around like your space. That way you can get your digestion started and you don't have to worry about digesting in your sleep, because when you are sleeping, your body wants to spend all of its energy, all of this whole rest to recover your body, rest and recover your brain. It's to really help you, and if your body's focused on digesting, all of your energy, all of that is being focused towards getting that going, and then the last thing on the list is to deal with all the other important stuff that sleep does. So if you give yourself some time, then your body can focus on digesting, and then when you go to sleep, it can fully focus on sleeping, so you get the best of both worlds. And isn't that what we want? And then you also won't wake up feeling as like bloated or groggy. You'll just feel so much better and ready to take on the day. Well, there you have it. Those are my 5 tips to get a better, more restful sleep. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below what your better sleep tips are and what you want to see more of on my channel. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every Wednesday. So until the next one, thanks for watching.